Thank you for the warm welcome. Thanks for coming. It's my honor to be here. I'm proud to address the Washington International Renewable Energy Conference. I hope you understand that you're pioneers on the frontiers of change, that I fully suspect that this conference will seem unbelievably outdated within a decade. I laid out a goal for the United States to reduce gasoline consumption by 20% over the next 10 years. That's called 2010. Now, by the way, that's in the face of a growing economy. To reduce gasoline usage by 20% over 10 years. I was able to sign a good piece of legislation called the Energy Independence and Security Act of 2007. This legislation specifies a national, mandatory fuel economy standard of 35 miles per gallon by 2020, which will save billions of gallons of gasoline. Secondly, the legislation requires fuel producers to supply at least 36 billion gallons of renewable fuel in the year 2022. In other words, these just aren't goals, these are mandatory requirements. I'm confident the United States can meet those goals, and I know we must, for the sake of economic security, national security, and for the sake of being good stewards of the environment. Biodiesel is the most promising of these fuels. Biodiesel refiners can produce fuel from soybeans and vegetable oils and recycled cooking grease from waste materials. All you out there with waste, you may be in business before you know it as this new technology kicks in. Most Americans, or more Americans, are beginning to realize the benefits of biodiesel every year. Last year, we produced 450 million gallons of biodiesel. That's up 80% from 2006. Today, there are more than 650 biodiesel fueling stations in America. There are hundreds of fleet operators that use biodiesel to fuel their trucks. And this is the beginning of what is going to be a substantial change in our driving habits. And then there's ethanol. In the 2000 campaign, I strongly supported ethanol. In 2008, it's amazing to think about how far our country has come since the year 2000. Ethanol production has quadrupled from 1.6 billion gallons in 2000 to a little over 6.4 billion gallons in 2007. We're also investing in plug-in hybrids. But we want our city people driving not on gasoline but on electricity. And the goal, the short-term goal, is to have vehicles that are capable of driving the first 40 miles on electricity. Vehicles that don't look like a golf cart, by the way. Vehicles that meet consumer demand. And that day's coming. The battery technologies are amazing, and the United States is investing millions of dollars to hasten the day when battery technology is more efficient and competitive. This administration is a strong supporter of hydrogen. We spent about $1.2 billion in research and development to bring vehicles running on hydrogen to the market. The waste product of a hydrogen-powered vehicle is pure and clean water. This is an amazing opportunity for us. Now, this will be a long-term opportunity compared to ethanol and biodiesel and plug-in hybrids. But it makes sense to invest now and work on the technology so that when it becomes cost competitive, it's available. We're also working for the day when, these new fuels power not only automobiles and trucks, but airplanes. In December, the United States Air Force flew a C-17. That's a huge airplane. From Washington State to New Jersey. For those of you who don't live in America, that is a long way. And they did so on a blend of regular and synthetic fuels. I was interested to see that Virgin Atlantic flew a 747 from London's Heathrow Airport to Amsterdam, fueled partly by coconuts and Brazilian babaçu nuts. I've never seen a babaçu nut, but it's amazing that it helped power an airplane the size of a 747. The paradigm is beginning to shift. Since 2001, America has increased wind energy production by more than 300%. It's a new industry for us, and it's beginning to grow. More than 20% of new electrical generating capacity added in America came from wind last year. The solar technology folks who are here will tell you there's some amazing changes have taken place in a quick period of time. And by the way, last year U.S. solar installations grew by more than 32% in the U.S. In other words, I hope you're excited by these statistics. I certainly am. But these are just the beginning. It's one thing to have a nice conference. But out of those conferences, we should expect results. We want a strategy that works, not sounds good. And so in order for there to be effective international agreements, these agreements must include commitments, solid commitments by every major economy, and no country should get a free ride. So here's a strategy to deal with climate change and energy dependence. The United States not only is pursuing this strategy on an international basis, we also have got bilateral partnerships. With Brazil, for example, we signed a biofuels compact. We've signed agreements with China to expand cooperation on biomass and to improve energy efficiencies for vehicles and industrial production. We're working with Sweden. Deputy Prime Minister is here, and I'm honored you're here, on a very constructive relationship. There's a U.S. company working with the United Kingdom's Wave Hub to harness the power of the seas. I hope you're excited when you see the exhibits. Just keep in mind how far we have come in a short period of time, and be hopeful about how far we will go in a short period of time.